You're aging yourself right now, and you don't even know it. Not because of stress, not because of your genetics, not because you're ignoring some miracle supplement or skipping out on sleep. No, you're aging yourself because of the things you were told to do, the habits you follow religiously, the routines you're proud of, the advice that came from doctors, dermatologists, fitness gurus, and every wellness brand that's ever sold you a product. And the worst part, you think you're doing the right thing. See, we live in a world where self-care has become a performance, where every morning routine is an Instagram story, where every habit is validated by some expert with a white coat or a blue check mark. But here's the truth, nobody wants to say out loud. A lot of that expert advice is quietly destroying you, not all of it. But enough of it that by the time you finish this video, you're going to question everything you do in a day. And you should, because the line between healthy habit and slow poison is thinner than you think. And most people are on the wrong side of it. This isn't about conspiracy theories. This isn't about rejecting science. This is about recognizing that a lot of what you've been told is either outdated, oversimplified, or flat out designed to sell you something. And your body is paying the price. So let's talk about the everyday mistakes that are making you age faster, not the obvious ones. Not smoking or binge drinking or eating fast food every day. We're talking about the things you do because you think they're good for you. The things that make you feel responsible, disciplined, healthy. Let's start with something you probably did this morning. You showered. Of course you did. You probably do it every single day, maybe even twice a day if you hit the gym. And why wouldn't you? Showering is non-negotiable. It's cleanliness, it's hygiene. It's what separates civilized humans from, well, people who don't shower every day. But here's the problem. Your skin doesn't care about your schedule, and it definitely doesn't care about what society thinks is clean. Your skin has a microbiome, a living ecosystem of bacteria, oils, and protective compounds that exist to keep you safe. These aren't germs you need to scrub away. They're your first line of defense. They regulate moisture, they fight off harmful bacteria, they maintain your pH balance, and every time you step into that shower and lather up with soap, you're stripping all of that away. You're not just getting clean, you're getting defenseless. And your skin knows it, that tight, squeaky clean feeling you get after a hot shower. That's not freshness, that's your skin screaming. It's dehydrated, it's stripped of its natural oils, and now it has to work overtime to rebuild what you just washed down the drain. But it can't keep up, not if you're doing this every single day. So your skin starts to crack, it gets dry, it gets irritated, and over time, it ages faster. Fine lines show up earlier, wrinkles deepen, your skin loses elasticity because it's constantly in repair mode, never in protection mode. And here's the kicker, you know this is happening. So, what do? You buy more products, moisturizers, serums, lotions, all designed to replace what your skin used to do naturally. You've created a dependency. Your skin can't function without help anymore because you've been sabotaging it every morning for years. And the worst part, you were told this was normal, that daily showers are just part of being a functional adult. But humans didn't evolve to strip their skin every 24 hours. We evolved to let our bodies regulate themselves. And when you interrupt that process, you don't get cleaner, you just get older, faster. But okay, maybe you can live with that. Maybe you're thinking, I'll just moisturize more. Fine. Let's move on. Because showering every day isn't the only thing you're doing wrong. You're also drinking 8 glasses of water every single day, like clockwork. Because that's what you're supposed to do, right? Hydration is health. Water is life. 8 glasses a day keeps the doctor away. Except, where did that rule even come from? It came from a 1945 nutrition report that suggested people need about 2.5 liters of water daily. But here's what nobody mentions, that report also said most of that water comes from food, fruits, vegetables, soups, meals. You were never supposed to drink 8 full glasses on top of everything else. But somewhere along the way, that detail got lost, and the bottled water industry got rich. And now, you're walking around forcing water down your throat even when you're not thirsty because you think your body forgot how to tell you when it needs a drink. Spoiler, it didn't. Your body has a hydration system. It's called thirst, and it works. When you need water, you feel thirsty. When you don't, you don't. It's that simple. But we've been conditioned to override that system, to drink preemptively. to carry water bottles everywhere like we're crossing a desert, and what happens when you drink too much water. Your kidneys have to work overtime to filter it all out. Your electrolytes get diluted, sodium levels drop, and if you do this consistently, you're putting unnecessary stress on your entire filtration system. Your kidneys aren't infinite, they age, and when you force them to process more water than your body actually needs, you're wearing them out faster. You're also bloating yourself, disrupting your cells, creating metabolic confusion, all because you believed a myth that was never backed by science in the first place. But here's the thing. You're not going to stop drinking 8 glasses a day, because stopping feels irresponsible. It feels like you're letting yourself go, and that's exactly the problem. We've turned hydration into a moral issue, and your kidneys are paying for it. Now, let's talk about your skin again, because you're not done ruining it yet. You wear sunscreen every day, even when it's cloudy, even when you're indoors. SPF 50, minimum. You reapply every 2 hours. You've got it in your moisturizer, your foundation, your lip balm, because the sun is the enemy. UV rays are death, and if you don't protect yourself, you're going to age like a raisin. That's what dermatologists say. That's what skincare brands say. And to be fair, they're not entirely wrong. Too much sun exposure does damage your skin. But here's what they don't tell you. Blocking the sun also blocks something your body desperately needs: vitamin D. Your body makes vitamin D when UVB rays hit your skin. It's one of the few vitamins you can't get enough of from food alone, and it's critical. Bone density, immune function, hormone production, mood regulation, muscle strength. All of it depends on vitamin D. But if you're lathering on SPF 50 every single day, you're not making any. You're blocking the process entirely, and unless you're taking supplements, which most people aren't, you're running on empty. And here's where it gets bad. Chronic vitamin D deficiency doesn't just make you tired, it accelerates aging from the inside out. Your bones get brittle, your muscles weaken, your immune system falters, your testosterone drops, your mood crashes. You're more likely to get sick, more likely to feel depressed, more likely to age faster at a cellular level. And all of this is happening while you're protecting your skin. You're trading surface level anti-aging for systemic collapse. And nobody told you. Oh, and let's not forget, most chemical sunscreens aren't just sitting on your skin. They're absorbing into your bloodstream. Oxybenzone, octinoxate. These are endocrine disruptors. They mess with your hormones. They interfere with reproductive health. They accumulate in your tissues, and they've been found in blood samples, urine, and even breast milk. So, you're not just blocking vitamin D, you're also introducing chemicals that your body doesn't know what to do with, and your liver has to filter them out, which again creates stress, which again accelerates aging. But sure, keep reapplying, because wrinkles are the real enemy. Let's shift gears, because it's not just what you put on your body, it's what you put in it. You cook with vegetable oil. Canola oil, sunflower oil, soybean oil, because that's what you're supposed to use. That's what the American Heart Association recommends. That's what every health organization has been pushing for decades. Avoid butter, avoid lard, avoid saturated fat. Use seed oils instead. They're heart healthy, except they're not. Seed oils are industrial products. They didn't exist 150 years ago. You can't squeeze a canola seed and get oil. It has to be extracted using heat, pressure, and chemical solvents like hexane. The process creates oxidized fats, damaged fats, fats that your body recognizes as foreign, and when you eat them, your body responds the only way it knows how, with inflammation. Inflammation is the foundation of aging. It's what damages your DNA. It's what clogs your arteries. It's what degrades your collagen. It's what makes your joints ache and your skin sag. And seed oils are inflammation in a bottle, but they're cheap, they're shelf stable, they don't go rancid. So the food industry loves them, and they've spent decades convincing you that butter, something humans have eaten for thousands of years, is the dangerous one. Meanwhile, autoimmune diseases are skyrocketing. Obesity rates are climbing. Heart disease is still the #1 killer, and everyone's scratching their heads wondering why. It's the oils, it's the inflammation, it's the fact that we replace stable natural fats with industrially processed garbage, and called it progress. Your body wasn't designed to run on seed oils. It was designed to run on animal fats, on saturated fats, on the kinds of fats that don't require a chemistry lab to produce. And every time you cook with that bottle of canola oil, you're aging yourself at the cellular level. But let's get back to something more personal. Let's talk about sleep. You've been told you need 8 hours, straight, uninterrupted. If you wake up in the middle of the night, something's wrong. You have insomnia. You need to fix it. Maybe medication, maybe melatonin, maybe a sleep tracker that guilts you every morning. But here's the thing. Humans didn't always sleep this way. Before the Industrial Revolution, people slept in 2 phases, first sleep and second sleep. They'd go to bed a few hours after sunset, sleep for 3 or 4 hours, wake up for an hour or 2, and then go back to sleep until morning. During that waking period, they'd reflect, pray, have sex, do light chores. It was normal, it was natural. And it wasn't considered insomnia, it was just how sleep worked. But then we invented the light bulb, and suddenly we could control when we went to bed. So we consolidated our sleep into one block. And over time, we forgot that segmented sleep was ever a thing. And now, when your body tries to follow that old pattern, when you wake up at 2 a.m. and feel wide awake, you panic. You think something's broken. So you stress about it. You lie there trying to force yourself back to sleep. And that stress releases cortisol, which keeps you awake longer, which makes you stress more. And by the time you finally fall asleep, your body's been marinating in stress hormones for an hour. That's aging you, not the waking up, the stress about waking up. And if you're taking sleeping pills to avoid it, you're making it worse. Because those pills don't give you natural sleep. They sedate you. They suppress REM sleep. They interfere with memory consolidation. And long-term use has been linked to cognitive decline, dementia, and accelerated brain aging. So you're medicating a natural process. And in doing so, you're actually damaging your brain. All because you were told that 8 hours straight is the only way to sleep properly. But sure, keep setting that alarm and wondering why you wake up tired. Now let's talk about your mouth, because you're scrubbing that to death too. You brush twice a day, maybe 3 times. You floss every night. You use mouthwash. You've got an electric toothbrush with a timer. You're doing everything right. Your dentist would be proud, and your gums are receding. Because here's what nobody tells you. Brushing too hard doesn't make your teeth cleaner, it makes them weaker. Your enamel is the hardest substance in your body, but it's not indestructible. And when you scrub at it with a firm bristle brush twice a day, every single day, you're wearing it down. You're creating microabrasions. You're thinning the protective layer that's supposed to last your entire life. And once enamel is gone, it's gone. It doesn't grow back. So now your teeth are more sensitive, more vulnerable to decay, more likely to crack or chip. And you did that to yourself with a toothbrush. But it gets worse because you're not just brushing your teeth, you're brushing your gums. And gums are soft tissue. When you scrub them aggressively, they recede. They pull away from your teeth. And once that happens, your tooth roots are exposed, which means more sensitivity, more decay, more risk of infection, and flossing. If you're doing it too hard, you're causing the same damage. You're cutting into your gum tissue, you're creating tiny wounds, and those wounds are entry points for bacteria. Oh, and that mouthwash you're using, the antiseptic kind that kills 99% of bacteria, it's killing your oral microbiome. The good bacteria that protect you. The bacteria that help produce nitric oxide, which is critical for blood pressure regulation and cardiovascular health. You're sterilizing your mouth. And in doing so, you're making it more vulnerable. Because when you wipe out all the bacteria, the bad ones come back first. And now they don't have any competition. So you're brushing away your enamel, reseeding your gums, killing your microbiome, and calling it oral hygiene. Your dentist didn't mention that part, did they? Let's move on, because there's something sitting in your cabinet right now that you think is protecting you, but it's not. Multivitamins. You take one every morning, maybe with breakfast, maybe on an empty stomach if you're in a rush, and you feel good about it, because you're filling the gaps. You're covering your nutritional bases. You're doing something proactive for your health, except you're not. Most multivitamins are synthetic. They're not food. They're isolated compounds created in a lab. And your body doesn't recognize them the same way it recognizes vitamins from actual food. When you eat an orange, you're not just getting vitamin C, you're getting bioflavonoids, fiber, cofactors, all the other compounds that help your body absorb and use that vitamin C effectively. But when you take a synthetic vitamin C pill, you're just getting ascorbic acid, and your body treats it differently. Sometimes it absorbs it, sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes it causes problems. Because here's the thing about synthetic vitamins, more isn't always better. In fact, more can be dangerous. High doses of synthetic vitamin E have been linked to increased mortality. Beta-carotene supplements have been shown to increase lung cancer risk in smokers. Folic acid in high doses has been associated with cancer progression. And fat-soluble vitamins, A, D, E, and K, accumulate in your tissues. If you're taking them every day in a multivitamin, you can reach toxic levels over time, and your liver has to process all of it, every synthetic compound, every isolate, every megadose of something you didn't actually need. And that creates oxidative stress, which is ironic because antioxidants are supposed to reduce oxidative stress. But the vitamin industry doesn't care because they've convinced you that pills can replace food, that you can eat garbage and supplement your way to health. And you believe them. So now you're paying money to stress out your liver, and you're calling it wellness. But here's the worst part. The thing that ties all of this together, the habit you think is saving your body, the one you've been told to focus on since you were a kid. Posture. Sit up straight, shoulders back, core engaged, don't slouch, don't hunch. Perfect posture is the key to a healthy spine. That's what your parents said. That's what your teachers said. That's what every ergonomic chair and posture corrector on the market is based on. And it's destroying your spine. Because your spine wasn't designed to stay still, it was designed to move. When you sit in perfect posture, you're locking your spine into a static position. You're engaging the same muscles for extended periods. You're compressing the same intervertebral discs. You're restricting blood flow to the same areas. And over time, that creates stiffness, tension, pain. Your muscles get tired, so they start to atrophy. Because if a muscle is always engaged, it never gets a chance to fully relax and recover. And if it never recovers, it weakens. Your discs get compressed because there's constant pressure on the same spots. And unlike muscles, discs don't have a great blood supply. They rely on movement to stay hydrated and healthy. When you stay still, they dry out, they degenerate. And that's how you get disc issues in your 30s and 40s. And your spine loses flexibility. Because it's not bending, it's not twisting, it's not doing any of the things spines are supposed to do. So, it stiffens, it calcifies. And by the time you're older, you've got the mobility of a wooden plank. Meanwhile, cultures that don't obsess over posture, cultures where people squat, sit cross-legged, move frequently, have way lower rates of back pain, way fewer spinal issues, because their spines aren't stuck in one position all day. Your body needs variety. It needs to shift. It needs to slouch sometimes. It needs to stretch. It needs to move in ways that aren't correct by Western standards. Because rigidity isn't health, it's the opposite. But you've been sitting up straight for years, thinking you were protecting your spine, and instead, you've been turning it into stone. So, let's take a step back and look at what we've covered here. You shower every day, stripping your skin's natural defenses. You drink 8 glasses of water, overworking your kidneys. You slather on sunscreen, blocking vitamin D and absorbing endocrine disruptors. You cook with seed oils, flooding your body with inflammation. You force 8 hours of straight sleep, stressing yourself out when you wake up naturally. You brush and floss aggressively, receding your gums and killing your oral microbiome. You take multivitamins, overloading your liver with synthetic compounds. And you sit with perfect posture, stiffening your spine and compressing your discs. And all of it, every single habit, was something you thought you were supposed to do. That's the problem. You didn't mess up. You followed the rules. You listened to the experts. You did what society told you was healthy and responsible. And your body aged faster because of it. So, what now? Well, you could panic. You could try to reverse everything overnight. But that's not the point. The point is that health isn't about following a checklist. It's not about doing more. It's not about optimizing every single aspect of your routine until you're a walking wellness experiment. It's about recognizing that your body has its own intelligence. And most of the time, the best thing you can do is get out of its way. Let your skin regulate itself. Drink when you're thirsty. Get some sun. Eat real food. Sleep when you're tired. Even if it's segmented. Brush gently. Skip the multivitamin unless you actually need it. And for the love of everything, stop sitting like a statue. Your body knows what it's doing. The problem is that you've been taught not to trust it. And yeah, some of this is going to make people uncomfortable. Some of you are going to leave angry comments. Some of you are going to defend your sunscreen and your seed oils and your 8 glasses of water like I just insulted your family. And that's fine, because discomfort means you're paying attention. But if this made you rethink even one habit, then it did its job. If it made you question the advice you've been following blindly, then maybe, just maybe, you'll start making decisions based on what your body actually needs, not what someone's trying to sell you. So, hit like if this messed with your head a little. Subscribe if you want more uncomfortable truths. Or don't. Either way, your body's still aging. Might as well understand why.